guys, welcome to Scotch Kitchen. Midweek again. Here we are, ready to make some chapatis. I'm just going to put the camera a little bit low so that you can be able to see me actually making the dough and stuff. Don't worry about my head as much. My head is going to be cut off. But the most important thing is like you are actually able to see what I'm doing. Sorry guys. So today I'm trying, I have two devices, so I'm going to try and put this other device on as well so that I can be able to see you guys at the same time. Not using my phone, I'm using my other device. It's loading, which is great. Yay! I can see myself. So let me turn down the volume. Yeah. The good thing with this, I'm using another device so that I can be able to see and hopefully I'll be able to welcome guys when they're coming in. Instantly invite. Hi Aggie, thank you my lovely for joining. How have you been? I hope you've been okay. I've been fine, thank you. On holiday. I'm still on holiday, but soon I'm going to go back to work. So today I said I have to do a live video. It's being midweek and I am planning to make some chapatis because I've not done chapatis for a period of time. So I just say that that's going to be a good one to start again, basically the week, because my week is starting today. I've been knackered, but what can I say? Adventure time, and really enjoyed myself with my boys. Went different places, went to Germany. I hope you were able to watch the video that I downloaded in when I was in Germany. And then it was just a matter of like, it was driving about 8 hours drive, so 8 hours going and 8 hours coming back. And then between there I had other few things to do, so it was really interesting. But that said, here we are again. So I'm just going to go through with you guys what I have, what I've laid. Really nice and simple. I'm actually going to make chapatis a different style. Last time you saw me doing it with hot water. So today I'm not going to do it with hot water. I'm going to do it with lukewarm water. That's the difference. That's like the main difference. And then I'm going to use this baby, Cowboy. I'm sure all of you guys know Cowboy. If you are mainly from Kenya, it's a cooking fat. Yes, it's a cooking fat. And if you can't find Cowboy, you can use ghee. Ghee is as well, it has exactly the same effect as Cowboy. I'm just going to open this so that I can show you, because ghee is almost it has like a orangey, that's a yellowish color inside, almost looks like that. So if you can't find Cowboy, you can be able to use ghee. So what I have here, I have just bear with me 1 second. I have some Cowboy, and then I have water, so lukewarm water. I've melted a bit of some Cowboy here on here. It's really hot, so I don't want to lay this down. And then I have plain flour. Make sure it's plain flour. Don't use self-raising for chapatis, and don't use baking powder. You don't need that. You just need plain flour. You need a little bit of cooking fat. You need salt, and you need some sugar. That's all you need. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go and start doing the dough. Just preparing. It's like I'm going for a match or something, boxing match or something. I hope you watched the Mayweather fight. It was really nice because I really wanted him to win. I didn't like the other guy. He talked too much and he was really rude, according to myself. So anyway, it was a good match. It was a long wait match, but it was a good match. So, as I said, I have some plain flour. I have some lukewarm water, not hot water this time, just lukewarm water. Hi, Sophia Rasa, thank you for joining. Faustine Mandu, thank you, my lovely, for joining. I have another gadget down here, so I'm able to welcome you guys much easily today. Okay, so plain bowl. That's what we need. And then I have a cloth here. I know you're wondering at the end here. Let me remove my kettle off. At the end here, I have a small pan and a bigger pan. And on this small pan, I've put water, which I'm going to heat up in a bit. So in very low heat, because I need the steam. So when I start frying my my chapatis, just let me move that. When I start frying my chapatis here, I will be putting my chapatis inside here. I'm not using, last time you saw I was using a cloth and I was putting my chapati inside the cloth and covering it. Today I'm not going to do that. So today I'm doing this other method that I learned. So I'm going to be putting my chapatis inside here, and every time I'm going to be turning them around, just the way you normally turn chapatis around when you're cooking them. So the whole idea of this water here is to steam up. So it's going to be like steam. It's going to keep them really nice and soft. One. Another thing, it's going to keep them moist. That's another thing. And also keep them really nice and warm. You can use this same method to warm your chapatis, or you can normally put them in the microwave for like 5 to 10 seconds, and that will be okay. So you put them 10 to 5 seconds in one of the freezer bags. Let me just show you what I'm in. So if you want, this is another method of warming up your chapati. So after it has cooked, you can put them in one of these like freezer bag. You put it in and make sure you seal it. So you just cover it, so you just fold it basically. Put your chapati in the microwave, less than 10 seconds, and it will warm up. It won't be crunchy, because sometimes if you warm it, it comes out really, really crunchy. If you put it here, because it's going to accumulate some steam inside here, and that steam is what is going to help it warm. That method as well, when you've cooked your chapatis, let's say tomorrow you want to eat the chapatis for breakfast, you want to have them with a cup of tea. All you need to do, a little bit of water there, which is really nice and bubbly, and then there's going to be steam in here, and that's how it's going to warm up the chapati. Nice and easy, not stressful at all. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start kneading my dough, because I'm going to knead my dough and then I'm going to let it rest for a few minutes, so we can like have a chat when I'm doing that. So meanwhile, instead of just like chatting along, because we have that resting period as well, and this is dinner, and today I want the boys to sleep early, because now from tomorrow we're going to go back to our normal routine. They're not back in school yet until the following week, but because I have to go and do some other jobs, they have to go to the minders and they have to go do other activities, so we have to wake up early. So let's get on with it and let's start cooking. So my flour, it just depends with you how many chapatis you want to make. I normally make a few, and sometimes I freeze some so that they can be used, like if somebody just feels like having some, and then you can just defrost it and warm it up the way I've just explained, which I can explain again some other time. Okay, this packet is how many kilograms? I think it's 2 kilograms if I'm not wrong. It's 1.5 kilograms. So I'm going to use like 3/4 of it. I'm leaving some flour here because I'm going to need the flour later to put on my surface. Remember to have a really nice soft surface. So I'm having my surface ready to go. So in your bowl, you put your flour. So I've just used like about 3/4. I'm going to add a little bit more, because I have boys here and they can eat. So it depends how many people you're making it for. It's up to you how many you want to make. So I normally don't count how many I make until I'm done. So I just go along with it. Okay, so I need my flour. Make like a ridge, or like make a hole in between your flour. And I'm using just a normal spoon. And the main reason why I'm making a hole here, I'm going to put my salt. I'm going to put a bit of sugar. So I just need a teaspoon of, half a teaspoon of sugar. I need like a sprinkle. So basically you just need a sprinkle of everything, maybe half a tin of everything. And then you put it in there. I'm going to put my oil as well in there, and then I'm going to start mixing it up. And then after I've mixed it up, you'll see me adding oil as I continue. And then we're going to cover it. That's why we need this cloth. Then we're going to cover it for a few minutes. Then we continue with the cooking process. Let me just wash my hands really quick, and then we can continue. Okay, so this is the hard bit of cooking chapati. Everything else is much easier than this. The mixing bit is normally the difficult bit. Okay, so get my salt. I'm just gonna use a sprinkle of salt, and I'm going to have my sugar. So that's my sugar. So you can see there, it's written sugar, and I'm going to have a sprinkle of that as well. Then I'm going to get my oil that had originally melted, because remember I'm using the fat, and the cooking fat is definitely thicker, it's not watery. So I'm going to have that on my lovely fountain, and then I'm going to mix. If you have a mixer, you can go ahead and use your mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can just do the same process. I have a mixer, but I can't be bothered using a mixer. I like the feeling, you know by now, I always like using my hands most of the time when I'm cooking. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my hands when I'm doing this. So you just need to keep on mixing the dough with your salt and your, so you have your oil here, you have your salt, and you have your sugar. Just mix that together as much as possible so that it will look as if it has like granules, like bubbles, and that's what you need, which is okay. Don't worry so much about it, because we're going to start adding water in a bit. So again, I'm just using water, lukewarm temperature. So that's just water. You can, if you are not very sure, you can boil up some water and then put them in the jar and then just let it rest for a few minutes, and then it's going to be cool enough to be lukewarm. So that's what I'm using. And I think this is what our parents used to use. They just used to use lukewarm water, but I showed you another method of making chapatis using hot water. So today I'm not using hot water, I'm just using lukewarm water. Hi Terry, thank you my lovely for joining. Right on time, we've not gone that far yet. We just, pardon me, we just started. So just mix that together as much as possible until you have like the little like granules on your, so it's not going to be fine, it's going to have like it's going to be like lumpy and stuff, and that's what we need. Add some more of that oil that you'd heated up, and give it a proper mix again. I will need to add a little bit oil there, because I'll need the oil later when I start actually cooking the chapati, which I can do that when we are still waiting for the chapati to rest. Hi Denise, thank you for joining. George Teddy, thank you my lovely for joining. Welcome to Scotch Kitchen. Chapati on the go today, midweek, how can I call it? I say midweek wonder, that's what I said. And it's just a way of making our chapatis as soft as possible. So today I'm using another method. I'm not using the hot water method, I'm just using the lukewarm water method. So far here we have some oil, I'm using cowboy, and we have a sprinkle of salt and a sprinkle of sugar, and that's it, and that's what I'm mixing. So next, after I've added that, you mix it up together until it's not going to be fine, and that's what you're trying to achieve. You don't want it to be fine. It's going to be lumpy, and it's going to be like, it looks as if it's really like separating. I'll just lift that up for you to be able to see. As you can see, it's not fine. That is okay. That's exactly what we want. So now I make my my fountain again. I'm gonna make a big hole around there, just like a volcano, and then I'm going to put my water. Be very careful, but again we have some water there, so you can go ahead and put water bit by bit and you mix. If you feel you have a lot of it, you can go ahead and add a little bit flour. If you feel you have less water, and you can do exactly the same. Hi Thomas, thank you my lovely for joining. Okay, so keep on mixing it as much as possible. Again, I've said, if you don't like the feeling of the flour on your fingers, because it's not really a good feeling, not everybody would love to feel this way. So if you don't like this feeling at all in your hands, then you can use a machine, and you will still achieve the same results of the flour, the dough we need. So added a little bit of water, and I'm going to keep on mixing it until I get my fine dough. Okay, if you realize I'm looking down because I have my other.
Your headphones for your computer if the sound working.
Yes. Sorry, do you know where my headphones are?
No.
They're in my bag. Look, my bag, the bag I carried yesterday.
Huh?
The bag I carried yesterday, it's right on the floor there next to behind the door. So I'm just going to keep on mixing this. Did you find it, Tyler? It's getting much better, and that's exactly what I want. As you can see, all the flour that was in this, how do you call it? This bowl is all already mixed up nicely in here, and that's what you need. We're going to mix this as much or as longer as possible because we want it really nice and soft. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me just close the door. We want our dough to be really nice and soft. So, give it a bit of energy there. And as you can see, it's really nice and soft, and that's what we need. Hi, Medyash. Thank you, my lovely, for joining. It's really nice and soft, and that's what we are trying to achieve. So keep on mixing it. Keep on mixing it in the bowl first. We're going to move this onto the surface in a bit, but meanwhile, let's just keep on mixing it in this bowl before we actually move it onto the surface. So, as you can see, you wouldn't tell I was actually mixing. You won't tell the difference apart from the little bits of flour on my hands, but that's the whole idea. If you want to know that you're achieving the goal of making your dough really nice and soft, you should not have as much as, how do you call it, the flour on your hand. And also that will tell you that the amount of oil that you put in was good, but we're going to add a little bit more oil here in a bit. Meanwhile, let's keep on kneading because we need it really soft. So this is what makes your chapati. This is the main process of your of making your chapatis really nice and soft. Because if you miss this step, don't think your chapatis are going to really be nice and soft. So make sure you work hard on this part so that you can achieve the soft effect of the chapatis. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil there again. And then I'm going to knead it some more in here. I'm going to spread a little bit of flour on here, knead it some more here, and then we're going to give it a bit of a rest while we do other things, okay? Just a little, not too much, just enough oil, that's all we need, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You found it?
Yeah.
Okay, can you close for me the door, please, Tyler? Thank you. Oh, okay.
That's the last piece of egg.
Which one?
That one.
Yes, you can. Okay. Give it as much love as you can. And it looks like playing dough. So it gives you like a time when you're really young and you are able to play with dough, and this again gives you that effect. So as you can see, my dough is really nice and soft. Not soft enough, we need it to be softer than that. So the main reason why I'm putting it back on this bowl, I want to pick up all my oil that I've just used. I don't want to leave any there. Then the next thing, I want to transfer my dough here. So we don't need the water anymore. We are done with the water. We still need our flour. So don't get rid of the flour. Just giving it a quick clean up. Then sprinkle just a little bit of your flour there because you don't want your dough to be sticking onto your surface. Hi dear, hi McKenna. Yes, I am back home. I'm back from Germany. It was a really nice break. Back to reality. Back to reality. But let's say my adventures never end. I'm always finding somewhere to go. Yesterday I went to Northampton. That's where my auntie lives. So I went to visit her. Took the boys to see their grandmother, which was really, really lovely. Came back very late. And we are here now. midweek. So tomorrow we start back our normal routine, preparing before the boys go back to school. They're not back to school yet. We have a few more days to go. They're back to school mid next week. So give your dog as much love as you can. I normally tend to say this is just like you going to the gym. So give it as much love as you can. And as you can see, it's really nice and soft. And that's what you're trying to achieve. Look at that. That's what you're trying to achieve. Just make sure your dough is as soft as that. And then get your bowl that you initially used to mix. Sprinkle a little bit of flour there. Put your dough in there back. Get a cloth. Make it a little bit damp, not too wet, just a little bit damp. And then we're going to use to cover that for a few minutes. Just a little bit damp, not too wet. That's all we want. So as you can see, it's just a little bit damp. It's not dripping wet or something. And use that to cover your dough. Right? Let's let it rest for a few minutes. Pardon me. I'm going to use my phone as a timer today, because last time I relied on my timer and it really disappointed me, which I need to put it in the bin, which I'm going to do that after this. Just bear with me 1 second. Timer. Minutes. How do you do it? Okay. So when I'm waiting for that to actually rest, so you let it rest for a few minutes, and then we're going to go back and do the next step, which you're going to make the big rounds, and then we're going to roll it. So today I'm doing, remember I said I'm going to do a different method from what I did for you guys the other time. So we've kneaded our dough. Our dough is resting for a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, just depends with, as long as it's more than 5 minutes, basically, that's okay. So we're going to let it rest. Meanwhile, when that is resting, I'm going to go ahead, I can explain this to you guys again, the people who actually missed it. So today, I'm doing a different method of cooking the chapatis. Last time you saw me making the chapatis with hot water. So today I'm just using lukewarm water, a little bit of flour, and then I'm using cowboy, which is the cooking fat. That's the one I'm using. So if you can't find cowboy, not to worry, you can either use ghee. If you can't find ghee, you can use vegetable oil or sunflower oil. But if you can get fat, that's better than actually using the normal cooking oil. So what I've just done so far, mixed my flour, water, sprinkle of salt, a sprinkle of sugar, and a little bit of my my cooking fat. Mix that together, made a dough, and I'm just leaving my dough there to rest. Then the next step is going to be rolling it and then making like the rounds ready to cook it. On this end, this is where I'm going to be storing my chapati. I want my chapati to really stay warm, and 2, I want them to be really nice and soft, and 3, I want them to be moist, not dry. So I have how do you call this? A pot. I'll have to move it. I'll do it again, which is not a problem. I have a pot and it has a bit of water in there, and then this is where I'm going to be putting my chapatis after I've cooked them. So I'll put this on top of this. Definitely there's going to be heat at the bottom here to heat up my water. Very low heat you need, because you just need a little bit of steam. You don't need too much steam. So after I've cooked my my chapatis, they're going to go in here. I'm going to be turning them as I put them in here, but I'm always going to make sure I have covered them. So when we're ready, we've cooked all the chapatis, we are ready to eat. I'm just going to remove this and I'm going to turn this off because I don't need it anymore. Okay, in the morning, I want to warm up my chapati. I'm gonna use this method again. I'm going to get my lukewarm water or get my water in here, steam it up, get my cover again, and put in my chapati, maybe 2 or 3, it doesn't matter how many you want to warm up. Put them in there. Remember, this is empty, completely empty. Don't put any water in there, otherwise your chapati is going to be really soggy. So I'm going to keep on turning them when they're in there, and always cover them so that the steam can keep them warm. You can use that method to warm them up, or as I said earlier, you can use one of these bags. So it's just a freezer bag. You put your chapati in there in the microwave or for about 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds, and your chapati is going to be really nice and warm. If you just warm it up separately in the microwave, it's going to be really crunchy, and you don't want that. That's the whole idea. So that's another tip of how you can warm up your chapatis. Not only chapatis, by the way, that's also a method you can use, the one with the bag, to warm up your ugali. And it actually helps a lot because it keeps the steam inside the bag, and the ugali warms up all round rather than just the top and not the inside bit. And then also it helps, it avoids it to lose the moist and become really dry. So that's the method we're going to use today for our chapatis. So I'm going to start making sure that my stove is heated up so that my water can start heating up, because I need that steam very soon. Because again, I'm using very low heat on here. That's why. Yeah. So that's okay there on the side. I need a little bit more fat here because I'm going to use that fat in a bit. Oops. I need to use that fat in a bit when I start doing this next step of the chapatis. So what I'm doing now, I'm just getting a little bit of fat from this from the tin onto my pan, and I'm going to heat it up a little bit so that it can melt it away, because it's easier to use it when it's actually melted. Again, you don't have to melt it, you can go ahead and use it the way it is and you still have the same effect. So let me turn that up as well. Okay, when you are actually melting your fat, just make sure your heat is very low. You don't need, you're not cooking it, you're melting it. If you put your heat really high, it actually evaporates some of that fat. We don't want to evaporate the fat, we just need to actually warm it up a little bit, and that's all we need. Okay, so I'm going to move a little bit, some of my stuff out of here. I don't need my salt anymore, I need the flour, because when it gets to actually rolling it, I will actually need the space. So, if you just bear with me, I'm gonna go again with the wiping. Because I'm going to, you're going to say, I'm going to just do like a big roll out here. And then out of that rollout, that's when I'm going to get pieces that I'm going to actually use when I'm preparing the chapati. So the other thing I'm going to get one of my trays. Let me give that a quick wash. And the main reason why I'm getting one of my trays is because I need this tray here. So after I've done my rolls, I'm going to put my chapatis on this tray, and so that it can give me, because I don't have a big surface here to actually do the rolling and put them there. So you need like a tray. If you don't have a tray and you have a bigger surface, you can actually use your surface instead of that. By the way, we are still waiting for our minutes to actually go. I'd already prepared my beans. So this is what I did. So easy. Just bear with me, I get the beans out from the fridge. So, these are my beans. As you can see that. The white part is coconut. And the whole idea, that's why you're seeing there's like a layer of coconut. This is what I did. I cooked the beans from scratch, so they were still whole. I actually soaked them in water overnight, and then the next day I actually boiled the beans. Let the beans boil until they were nice and soft. And then when they were nice and soft, I didn't drain the water off. Try and do this, it's really, really amazing. Cut some onions and just a little bit of spices. So I use mixed spices. I put onions and mixed spices. Don't put any oil. You don't need any oil because you're going to use coconut cream. Then I use 2 tins of coconut cream, but initially I used only 1 coconut cream. Poured it in there with my onions and my spices, stirred it up together, covered it and let it cook. Then in the morning, now that's the next day, so we started cooking, yesterday, so now the next day in the morning, so by the way, you let it completely cook and cool off before you put it in the fridge. Then I put it in the fridge. Now this morning what I did, I took my tin, the second tin of coconut and cream, poured it into my pot, mixed that up together really nice. Together really nice, and then I let it cook again for like 10 to 15 minutes, cover it basically, and then I turned off the heat, I let it cool again, and then I put it back in the fridge. That's why it's having that lovely layer, and that layer is actually coconut cream. I've not used any oil. You don't need any oil at all, because the coconut cream itself has a lot of oil. The main reason why I like doing this mbaazi, or they call, is it pigeon peas? The main reason why I like doing that is because when I always go to the coast of Kenya, in the morning when you wake up and you go to the local, how can I call it? Vibanda, the local, they're not shops, the local restaurants, sort of. There's always a lady seated outside there, and she's always selling this type of beans, and the way the process I've just given you, that's how they actually cook it. And that layer of coconut cream, when she gives it to you with a bit of beans, and then you have to have that with mahambre, which is like an African donut but without the hole. It's like square, and you have to dip the beans inside it. Oh, it's epic. I can talk about it like so this is just exactly the same as that one. I'm going to eat it with chapatis instead of actually having mahambre or the donuts. So that's what I normally do. So if you want to achieve that, and then if you like chili, you can put chili. I didn't put any chili today because I want the boys to really enjoy this one. You don't need to spoil it for anybody. You have to have it the way it is. I'm gonna have chili with mine later, but meanwhile I don't need chili. So that's how I made my beans. So now they're okay to come out of the fridge, and then I'm going to let it on the side for a few minutes, and then I'm going to warm it up later, just when it is ready to be actually for us to actually have it. That's when I'm going to warm it up. As you can see, it's still having the dark bit. That's the color of the peas, because I've not drained that oil, because I need that oil to be, not the oil, the waters from the beans to be there. That's the dark bit of it. That's why I've left it like that, because I need the taste there. Because the other mistake we normally do, you tend to boil the beans and then you pour the water away, and then you fry it, and then you get clean water, you put it there. You've already thrown away the nutrients of those beans by draining it off the sink or wherever you're draining it off. If you can avoid doing that, and you can just use the juices from the beans that are there, so you fry and use the same juices there, you still have your nutrients on your beans there, which is really, really important. Okay guys, enough of talking. Let's start doing our chapatis. That's enough minutes actually for them to actually rest. So let's do the next step. Hi Poshe, hi Jojo. I see more familiar faces here. Yes, there's always familiar faces in Scotch Kitchen, which is amazing. Okay, I sprinkle a little bit of flour on my surface. I hope you're able to see that, because I can be able to see on this other side. Get your dough. If you want to rest this for half an hour, go ahead and do that. If, let's say, for example, you have enough time in the morning, but you don't have enough time, let's say, in the evening to actually do the process that I've just done now, this dough, the way I've shown you, you can use it up to 3 days. What you need to do, prepare your dough, get some film paper, not foil, film, which is a clean film. That's clean film, the clear one, that one, yeah. And put your dough in there, wrap it up really nice, and put it in the fridge. It can last up to 3 days. So if you prepare your dough 3 days before, because you don't have time to do that fast process, that's okay. That is possible. You can definitely do that, and you can prepare your chapatis when you are ready. There you go. There is another advice for you, which is really, really amazing. So, because I know most of the people always say, how can I make chapatis during the week? It's a lot of work. Yes, it can be a lot of work if you make it to be, but again, there is an option for you. So you can make the dough 3 days before and store it nicely, cover it with clean film, store it nicely in the fridge. Remember, don't put it at the bottom of the fridge because that's where you put your meat. You need to put it at the top where you put your butter, where you put your sauces. That's where you put it, and make sure it's at the end, not in the front, because when you open your fridge and it's right in the front, it's going to actually absorb so much air, and you don't want that. You want it at the end. Even if somebody keeps on opening the fridge, it's at the end and nothing affects it at all. So definitely try that and then thank me later. Okay, so I've removed my cloth. I'm putting it on the side. I'll need it in a bit because I'll need it to cover this. So don't throw away your damp cloth. Just fold it nicely and put it on the side. And back to our dough. Nice and soft, the way we really, really love it. As you can see, still nice and soft. It's even now softer because, as you can see, it's even softer now because we've left it to rest. So the longer you leave it to rest, the softer it becomes. Okay, so let's give it some more love again, and then I start doing the process. I've not put my bowl far away because I want to do this in 2 halves. So I've put my other half back in the bowl, and I have my 1 half. So remember, we did this last time. So if your dough is like, let's say, any shape, you want to make it as round as possible. Tuck it in the back. So you take the front and tuck it in the back. That's all you do. And just do that all round until you will have a lovely round bowl shape dough. That's what you need. Queen Bori, hi my lovely. So proud of you, sweetheart. Thank you, my lovely, for that. That's my room, see? We come from back there. Have a bit of history together, Quinta, isn't it? Which is amazing. Thank you, my lovely, for joining, and thank you for your support. Okay, so keep on doing that, and the more you turn it around and tuck it in, the more it becomes really nice and round. Okay, remember, we don't need too much flour here. We just need enough flour. Turn off your heat. Don't forget about that. Remember, we were not cooking the flour, the oil. We were just melting it away. Okay, put your dough on the surface and squeeze it. Squeeze it as much as you can, because now is that process where we're going to go ahead and make our lovely roundy shape. So doesn't have to be round, it can be square. Again, remember, you are eating the chapati, we are not eating the shape. So it doesn't matter if you're making the flag of Kenya, the flag of Egypt, the flag of America. Just be content. It's the taste that really, really matters. That shape doesn't really matter at all. If somebody thinks the shape really matters, then they can just go ahead and eat the shapes and forget about the chapatis. So again, okay. So if you can make a round, that's okay. If you can't, that's all right as well. It's not a sin or anything. So keep on rolling it and turning the chapati as much as possible to make sure you have like an even depth all around it. Yeah, and then I'm going to show you now the process where we go ahead and do our lovely layers. You know, those lovely layers in the chapati. This is another method that I also learned, which is good to share. That's why I want to share with you guys, for you guys to actually learn how to do it. It's really, really nice and easy. Bear with me. Okay. Yeah. Don't make it too thin and don't make it too thick. Just about, it's just less than a centimeter thick. Ooh, just dented it. I've just been told to tell you guys, when the people who always insist that the chapati has to be round, remember, when you're chewing the chapati, when you cut it and put it in your mouth, you're never cutting it in a round shape, are you? You're always cutting it in different shapes, and that's what really, really matters. So don't worry about it if it's not round. It's not that important. What's important is the chapati is actually cooked, and the chapati is really nice and soft, and the chapati actually tastes nice. So that's what's really, really important. Okay, so we've done our really lovely shape. Pull this as much as possible because we're going to now go ahead and do our next step. I'm using like a brush that I normally use when I'm actually baking. If you can't find a brush, you can use your hands. It doesn't really, really matter. So this step, what I'm going to do now, I am going to put my oil onto my lovely chapati. Make sure you put from the edges going inwards, because it's almost like painting. You don't want to miss out any part of it at all. Take your time when you're doing this, because you don't want to miss out on any part at all. Again, I insist, start with the edges and then work yourself inside. You can always use a spoon as well. If you don't have one of these brushes, you can just use a spoon. It can give you the same effect. But if you can find a brush, it's actually better. So I'm going to spread that throughout a bit. Yeah, that's just my washing machine making noise. It's nothing bad or nothing technical. Okay. Just make sure all edges are covered with the oil, and then concentrate on the wider part of the. That's why I told you it doesn't matter what shape you're making, but just make sure this next process you start working it from the longest side. So this is what you need to do. Really nice and easy. We're going to fold this. Last time you saw me doing that process, but I went along and cut it into pieces. That was that other style. So this is a different style. So you will have more than one style to actually do it. Okay. So just take your time when you're doing this. We're going to roll it. So you roll and squeeze in. Roll again. It's not that easy. It looks really easy, but it's not. Just roll and keep on squeezing it, and we're going to do it up to the end, yeah? So it's a matter of rolling it. Take your time and just don't do big fat rolls, because when I'm rolling it like this, those are those layers that I'm talking about when you cook your chapatis. Those layers, that's what you're making now. So the smaller they are, the better. Squeeze them in when you're doing it. Yeah? Just take your time. Just be very patient.